I have a couple of topics to talk about, all centered on the idea that innovation does not necessarily mean invention. So my 5 topics today are these. I'm going to talk about the demise of brands. Number 2, I'm going to talk about a problem I'm having with the kids at school. 3, I've got things I've learned by reading the tabloids. I've got a quiz for you all, so get ready for that. And I'm going to tell you about my relationship with Karen. So let's start with this. A couple of years ago, maybe 4 years ago, I was asked to speak at a conference. And the entire group, the audience, there was a few hundred people of brand communications experts. And my message to them was this: if you're in brand communications, your job may be obsolete. Brands are no longer defined by what we say as companies, right? It's no longer defined by our marketing efforts. That time has passed, right? Brands are defined by the people who use those products and services. And it's also based on real-world experience of using those products and services. And you all know this from buying anything. You typically don't look at what manufacturers are saying. You look at what the buzz is on the internet. Brand messaging used to be this. It used to be top-down. Companies used to own the media, right? The companies used to control television ads and print ads and the way we received information about the products and services, but no more. We now own the media. It's bottom-up. Everyone's talking to each other, and everyone's listening to each other. Here's a review, 495 reviews. 303 people gave this product 5 stars. Only 39 people gave it 1 star. Which reviews do you read? Right, we all go to the 1-star review. Because of that, every product needs to be great. Meeting expectations is okay, but it's not good. A good design, or a good product, or a good service exceeds expectations. And that is a minimum requirement. Exceeding expectations is the minimum. The only thing you can do better than that is this: exceed expectations by a lot. And the main message here, the good news, I guess, is that innovation does not necessarily mean invention. Okay, let's talk about pharmaceuticals or drug compliance in medicine. Here's an interesting problem. People don't take their drugs. It's not a small number. 30 to 50% of people who are asked to take drugs will drop off that regimen within 3 months to 6 months. And that's significant, and that's bad news. Not just bad news for the patients, bad news for the pharmaceutical company, it's bad news for the reported effectiveness of that drug. It's bad news all around. It's bad news for the healthcare system. You know, people are getting ill. So that's not a good thing. By understanding people and by understanding patients and by understanding the motivations and behavior, we can change that. And we can do that through design. We don't have to necessarily touch the patient or necessarily change the medication. But the way the information is presented to them, the way we ease them into the regimen, the way we coach them over the first 3 or 6 months, that's what we consider design. It's the experience, it's the interaction. And we can have a significant effect in doing that. I'm going to give a quote here that I threw in. This quote could have been anywhere within this talk. And he said this: we never go out and ask the customer what features do you want in the next product. It's not the customer's job to know. Now, I don't have a lot of clients that think like that, but I wish they did, right? Because a survey or questions and answers or typical ways of gathering information about people are not as effective as other methods of design research. Okay, I'm having a problem with the kids at school. For their entire school career, they've been asked to give answers. 16 years of being asked to give answers. When I say, hey, I want you to come back with questions, it is not getting through, and it is mind-boggling how it's not getting through. I am now in my 3rd year with the course, right? So I'm now in the 3rd class, and I am doing this. I added to the repertoire, right? I am pounding the idea of questions into their minds, because a good question is everything. If you want to innovate, if you want to be brilliant, if you want to rethink the world, you got to come up with questions. The idea of coming to a meeting and saying, here are all my questions, is a little odd for people, and which is very unfortunate, and I'm blaming that 16 years of school system. I'm pretty sure this is from Albert Einstein, and it is if I had a problem to solve, or 1 hour to solve a problem, it would be 55 minutes figuring out the right question. Complexity is great, and innovation lies in understanding that complexity, but we're not embracing that complexity. We're simplifying and oversimplifying. We're describing people in a way that fits on a single PowerPoint page. Okay, so the way we communicate is in my opinion, not great. I did an interesting experiment, and this is my desk back in New York City. And on my desk, one day, I put a pile of tabloids. And my goal that week was to see if when people came over to my desk to talk or ask questions or with a problem or whatever, if my answer would be more interesting than the tabloids. Now, everyone in my office would say, oh my God, graphically, God, look at how horrendous these colors are, right? Look at that page layout. Look at this trash. How would you even buy this? Why is that sitting on your desk? Guess what happened when people came over to ask me a question? 30 seconds into the question, they're into the tabloids, right? Even if they come over with a burning question, this thing's like a tranquilizer. Here's what I learned from the tabloids. And these are lessons in life. These are lessons for me in design. These are lessons in business. These are lessons in business communications, but these are lessons in life. Focus on people. Keep it interesting. Personal meaning is important. Use plain English. Complex can be okay. If you want to make something really important, use uppercase letters. People like puppies. People like babies. People like sex. And at some point in the conversation, mention money. So the point is, really, if you're developing a business or a product or a service or a restaurant or whatever you're developing, right, dry cleaners, whatever you're doing, right, what you really want to think about is the personal relationship, because that's what we're warming up to. That's what getting 5 stars in Amazon. That's how people are telling their friends about the products or services, right? Right? We're oversimplifying. What we need to do is think about people, individuals, not think about 10,000 people. And I will tell you that it is more difficult to design for 5 or 6 people than it is to design something for 10,000 people. 10,000 people, you don't know them. And I've done both. The bottom line is really, no matter what business or service or operation you're in, again, it could be a restaurant, dry cleaners, etc., the actual thing is not that important. You have to have it, right? You need the thing. It's got to be the greatest technology. It's got to be the greatest and latest thing. You need it to compete, right? But that may not be what is giving you your competitive edge. What could be giving you the competitive edge is design.